Morning. It is Monday, the 10th of June, and we are back with it again. We had a good start this morning. We're just leaving the yard now. It's 20 past 7. Causing chaos here by the looks of it at the entrance. Somebody come hurtling in. Everybody's in a rush on a Monday morning. Hey, can you help? People just give you 2 seconds to do what you need to do and get out of the way. It's much quicker for everybody else. But anyway, the joys of being on the road and all that. So Monday morning, started for 7 o'clock this morning. So a bit of a rare lie-in for a Monday morning. On Friday, everything went a little bit pear-shaped, and I ended up running really late, and as a result I couldn't make my last delivery in Lichfield, and as a result of that they got an agency driver to meet me in the yard when I came in and continue the run for me, which was fine. The agency driver, as soon as I got in the yard, walked up to the truck and said, "I need your truck, mate." I'm like, "Yeah, give me 20 minutes, pal. I need to get all my stuff out for the week. There's no way I'm letting this lot sit in here all weekend." And as well, because it's all my personal stuff, you don't want to just leave everything in, you know. So 20 minutes to get all my stuff out, which is fine, but I actually forgot half the stuff. I left all my drinking water, the most important part for the week. That was left in, or lack of it, because I've used it through the week. The good thing is I do carry plenty. I carry absolutely plenty of everything. So my drinking water is fine. I do have a spare 20 litre container that I keep in the boot of the car, just in case things like this happen. Because you never know, you know, if you come back in through the week, you may well need to top up your drinking water. So I have a big container that I keep in the boot of the car. Because I have, I don't know, I have a lot of stomach issues, so if I can keep everything simple and from home as much as possible, then I can control everything that happens through the week, and that's quite important for me anyway. So just to have drinking water from home is actually quite a comfort through the week. A lot of people wouldn't even think of it. Yes, you can buy spring water, but it gets quite costly. Even if it's just a couple of quid for 100 bottles, you know, it's an expense. If your drinking water at home is fine, then it's a couple of quid less to have to worry about each week. So I've come in this morning for 7 o'clock, and I thought, right, my truck's going to get absolutely hammered over the weekend, knowing there's an agency driver in it. And I thought, right, I'm going to come in an hour early, and I'm going to give it a good clean. I know it's going to want fuel, I know it's going to need AdBlue, and potentially I'm going to have to sweep it out and all the rest of it. And you know me, I like a clean cab. So I've got in for 6 this morning and shoved my card in other work, and I knew my run today was fairly relaxed. It was just to go over to Rushton in Northampton and then up to Ferrybridge, I think it was. So any amount of time. As soon as I walked into the office, "Oh, thank God you're early, Steve. Somebody hasn't turned up. They should have been in at 4 o'clock. Oh, here we go." Okay, what can I do? So I'm now on a run. I've just left. It is nearly 7:30. But I still had to fuel. I had to AdBlue. There's no point hitting the road with no fuel in the tank. And of course I've had to move in. I've had to put all my stuff back in the truck, and the only thing I've not been able to do is give it a wash or kind of hoover it out. It's not not too bad. It brush out in a bit. But of course, because somebody else has been in, everything's just different. The way he'd put the pipes on the back of the truck, even though they've got clips that they can go into, it just kind of left them dangling on the floor, and there was one that got stuck underneath the catwalk. It's just like, oh. Anyway, Monday morning whinges. Should I finish or should I carry on whinging? Well, I've got everything in. Everything's back in, and we're now heading for Normanton, up near Wakefield, up that kind of neck of the woods. So we've got one stop that we were at last week, and then we're up to Doncaster, I think, and we've also got a ghoul in there somewhere. Can you let me out, sir? Can you all? I tried. Yes, so we've got Gould, Doncaster, Wakefield, and then potentially back to Manchester for Kellogg's tonight. Thank you. Oh, madam, actually. Thank you very much. Much love. Well, I hope you've all had a good weekend. My weekend was fab. I love being at home. Kids were away, which made it even better. Sorry, Chris. Yeah, kids were away. Tanya had the first of her hen do's this weekend. We're getting married next month, if I've not mentioned it before. Getting married at Upton Blues at the festival. It's our little time of the year. Normally Tanya and I, Upton Blues is our little thing. It's definitely a kid-free zone, but for this year and this year only, everybody and their dog have been invited. Come on then, Mr. Disco. And we've got a marquee, and we've got loads of tents, and we're getting married in Malvern, and then we're moving ourselves down to Upton Blues for the actual wedding. Well, not the actual wedding, for the evening do kind of thing. The evening do we're having a day later rather than in the evening. But we're a little bit different like that, you know. We've both been married before. This is our second time round, so we've kind of, both of us did it the right way the first time and it didn't work out. So this time we're doing it our way, the way we want to do it. A little bit different, a little bit unorthodox. We've got some things going on that's going to make it very fun. We're just really looking forward to it. So the weekend was spent Tanya having her first of her hen do's. Not the first of her hen do's, her main hen do's in a couple of weeks, but the lovely ladies from Warwick decided to have a little bit of an afternoon tea and some cake and some Prosecco, and hit Warwick on Saturday afternoon. And then a good mate of mine came over, and then I pretty much had the place to myself for a while. And then yesterday was just to chill out, catch up with a few things around the house, thinking I had a nice early relaxed start this morning for a Monday. It's not stressful, it's just kind of, where is everything? Why has everything moved? Why is my seat on the floor? And whoever drives lying down anyway? I don't know. Anyway, enough ramble. I've been rambling on for 10 minutes almost. Oof, where does time go? So 10 minutes into Monday, and we're on our way to Normanton, one stop, and we shall leave it there and we'll catch up in a little bit. Hope you've all had a good weekend, and I wish you all a very good week ahead. Safe, drive safe. See you in a bit. Right, well, here we are again over near Wakefield at coming to Normanton, that's the word I'm looking for. This is the junction where I either get it right first time, or I get it a million times wrong first time. It's quite simple actually when I think about it. I just need to follow your report. I think the rest of it just takes care of itself. It just looks a bit different on the TomTom, on the sat-nav, as what it does for the road signs. We come into here quite a bit. This is Normanton. As some of you might know, I think it's XLB Services just there on the left. Places for fuel, parking up overnight and stuff. Yeah, XLB Services. Also the base, or one of the bases for Shearing's Holidays coach company. It's meant to be a good cafe in there as well. XLB, I don't know, I've never been. Yeah, we do a couple of places on this estate. Today we're doing one stop. It was actually booked in at 6:30 this morning and we're 9:45 now because of the original driver not actually turning up for work this morning, phoned in sick. So we'll have the pressures of dealing with these companies that will only ever think it's my fault for being late because they don't know the rest of the story. But that's fine, we can deal with this. It's not too far off here now. We also do this bid food that's up on the left here, coming to there quite a bit. Just going to hang back this cyclist with this van being here. See the one stop creeping up in the distance there. Warburton's on the right first, and a bit further up you've got post office. We're coming into right one. It's either this one or the next one. I can never remember. Yeah, this one here. So what we'll do, we'll just sit here for a second or two. Build up behind them. Just let them go. Anyway, we'll see you when we get in there. So what we're doing, we're just going to loop round. Rather than sit there and blocking the road off. We will just spin it round and sit on the opposite side. I know it's double yellows, but there's not a lot we can do at the minute. But rather than blocking everybody in and off, we'll just sit here for a couple of minutes, and hopefully we'll be able to get in before too much longer. Get our paperwork ready with reference numbers and that kind of stuff, just so when we do get to the gate, hopefully we'll be able to get straight in. Right, so we're at one stop in Normanton. We've got a bit of a queue, obviously because we're running a bit late. We can't really odds that, that's just one of them things. So whilst we're waiting, just to try and get a step ahead of ourselves, we'll have a look at the next job, which is Lidl at Doncaster, and we'll program the sat nav, make sure we know which way we're going, and that way once we've unloaded here we can then just go for it. So we've got Lidl, Doncaster, Asda, Doncaster, and then Tesco at Goole. They're the three that we've got left to do, and then potentially over to Kellogg's again at Manchester. So we will program the sat nav and wait for further instructions. Alright, so we got our first one done. One stop. We're now heading over to Lidl's in Doncaster, slightly downwards in the country. Quite windy today, and we're just on the M62 at the minute, where it meets the A1. It's quite busy out here on the roads for a Monday morning. We're 11:05. The day's kind of running off with us, really. We started out early for a 7 o'clock start. I was in at 6. Had me job changed to come and do this little lot. One stop was fairly quick. There was a little bit of paperwork missing for some nappies. So I phoned the office and just said to them, we've got all the paperwork apart from this bit. And within about 10 minutes an email had landed over at one stop. So we were able to continue with the delivery. It's very difficult in the morning because the amount of paperwork that we have for the jobs, it's not so bad if you've got like one drop and then you've only got one bit of paperwork, so it all makes sense. But I've got a bit of a multi-drop going on this morning and today, and paperwork, there's just tons of it, absolutely tons of it. And because you don't really take notice of what you've got in the back on multi-drops, you just make sure you've got the pallet count and to make sure it looks like the right load, because you just haven't got time to go through it all. And quite often the identifying stickers that they put onto the pallets are often facing inwards, so you couldn't actually tell 100% that you've got the right pallets for the right places, I suppose. Sometimes you get it where all the labels are on the outside and then the job's a good one. You know exactly what load you've got. So you kind of take the paperwork that, well, if they've loaded it, the paperwork will be there in the pile. And sometimes there is a bit that goes missing. I'm just going to turn my camera around here a sec. Just switch it back on again because I know my son Matthew would appreciate this. A couple of MR2s coming up the motorway, coming up onto the A1 anyway. A blue one and a red one. Look like they're in quite good nick. Things you do. And off they go into the sunset. Meow. So anyway, we are about half an hour from Doncaster, about 21 miles. Just come onto the A1. Lidl normally is a self-tip, so you'll get an electric pallet truck. If I remember, I'll take my GoPro in, stick it up on the side. You're not meant to in Lidl's. I'm sure it'll be fine if I'm inside the trailer and not actually shown into their warehouse. I'm sure that'll be fine. So you have to operate the dock yourself. So you're responsible for reversing the truck onto the bay. And then they give you all the keys and everything that you need. You basically just unload it yourself. So you're in control of the loading bay. You then get a battery powered pallet truck and you just do your thing. Now we've got a couple of straps crisscrossed across the back, so I'll have to make sure that I remember to loosen them off, to undo them before I go back on the bay. So when you do a side tip, that doesn't really matter because you just get on with it once you've opened your curtains. But when you go onto a bay, if you've got your straps, whichever straps you're using, you do have to remember that you've got to take them off before they can unload, otherwise you end up damaging everything that's inside. And a lot of places they won't actually touch your straps in case something falls over or they break something. So 9 times out of 10 it's the driver's responsibility to remove the straps before you're unloaded. There's nothing worse than having a half-mile walk to a driver's room and then they come and say, we can't actually get to your load drive because you've got your straps on, and you go, oh. It just adds to the time. So don't forget your straps. Anyway, we shall keep on going and we'll catch up with you once we get to Lidl's. Alright, so here we are at Doncaster. We're going into Lidl's. It's just started to rain a little bit, as you can probably see and hear. This is quite a new place. We've got Amazon over to our right. Kind of hoping I've found it. It's still not listed on Google Maps yet, so the building is that new. There's a few places on the estate, but I'm hoping it will be fairly obvious when we get there. There is a Lidl up here, look. Just seeing a Lidl. Let's go and have a look. I did have a feeling it was up. Oh, it is. It's up the other road. Okay, there's 2 Lidl's. Which one's it going to be? Is this just a shop? It's just a shop. Alright, well I saw the signpost. I saw the sign for Lidl and I thought, I wonder, this is just a shop. So, we will spin round the roundabout. I should have just stuck with my instinct. I should have just stuck with my instinct. We'll come back round the lot. Try and see if we can get into it the other way. They're more or less opposite each other, which we'll see in a minute once we get up this road. This is where I had it coming to this second place on Highport, but because it's so new I wasn't 100% sure, but I saw the Lidl sign and it was worth having a look. At least I'll know for next time. I might even get up there and they'll say, no actually mate, you should be at the other one. We shall see. Lidl's over on the left at the moment, the one that we thought might have been it but wasn't. We've got Amazon on our right, and just over this roundabout and up on the right hand side you can see the other Lidl. It's just a case of how we get in there now. Let's try and suss it out. I think we're going to be up here. I think that's Seaver. There. Yeah. So we've got Seaver on the right now. Little just ahead of us. Hopefully we've come in the right way. See what this signpost says. Norris. There's that. Is that way Norris straight on? Assuming we're going to be in here. So I do know we're not allowed to in here, so I shall have to switch it off for now and we shall catch up in a bit. Alright, so as we're looking at the building, it's always good when you come into these places just to get an idea of the layout of the land. I'm just putting my high vis on as I'm chatting, trying to be productive. It's always a good idea to try and find where the goods in office is, and as you can see straight ahead of us, just over to the left slightly, all drivers report to goods in. So the way it normally works is you come and park up, have a wander over with your paperwork into goods in, give them your details, and then they give you a bay number, and then it all goes on from there. So we'll go and do that. We'll go and get ourselves booked in, and we'll catch up in a bit. Alright, so bay 40 we're going on. We'll just let this one out. It's also good when you come into these places just to try and work out which way is in and which way is out. A lot of warehouses are a one-way system, but it's good to clock just to see where everybody goes, so you know which way is out. I'm the world's worst person for getting lost and trying to find my way around, or in and out of these places anyway. So we're on bay 40, which is just coming up on the right, and you always try and keep the bays on the right. I'm going to come over, I'm going to stick my hazards on so people know I'm going to be reversing. Keep an eye on the lines that we're going to be using. And we've got pretty much a clear bay either side, so we're just going to point our trailer in the right direction, into reverse, get window down, and we've got one of these trailers at the back axle lifts up, so I'm just going to take it nice and easy, otherwise you'll end up overcooking it. And we're just going to come back almost all the way back onto the bay, doors open. Completely made a mess of that. It's always fun, it's because he was watching, blame him. Empty car park syndrome. That's better. It's just because that trailer really whips round really quickly. That's more like it. So we'll come round nice and in the middle of the bays. And we whip out, get the straps off, and open the doors. And I can shove it right back on the bay. See you in a second. Right, so we've been in, we've unloaded, we're coming back out, and we are into some new places that I have never been. Asda next, here in Doncaster. It's absolutely chucking it down the rain, or it was just before, and my sunroof is still leaking. It only leaks when it's raining, believe it or not. So we shall come out of Lidl, and I'm assuming we'll end up heading back for the motorway, and Asda evidently is just off the motorway. It looks really new, this place. I don't think it's been here very long. Everything was all still shiny in there. Even the banana bars were shiny. Well, we've had a break there, even though it took us half an hour in there. We obviously, as you saw, was working away, so I pulled back onto one of the parking spots opposite the bays there, as you saw. Took another half an hour break. So that's reset everything, because I had a 15-minute break before at the first drop in Normanton. Half an hour here, that's the way you have to do it. 15 minutes first, half an hour second. You can do 2 half an hours, or you can do a 20 minutes and half an hour, as long as your second break, as long as the first break is 15 minutes and more, your second break must be a minimum of half an hour before you've done 4.5 hours driving. That's how it works. So we had a 15-minute break at Normanton, and we've just had half an hour here. So that resets both the working time directive and the driver's hours. There's a really useful box if ever I saw one. So anyway, we'll love you and leave you for a bit, because it is raining quite hard, and I know the microphone picks up on the rain. So we'll catch you in a little bit. Alright, so we're now heading in for Asda distribution at Doncaster. Got a few other industrial estates up here. This place is massive. Never been here before, so we'll make it up as we go along. One of ours. I'm assuming we're going to here, I think. Yeah, that's the one. There we go. Right, so we'll go and work it out. We'll be back in a minute. Right, well, we've been tipped. Just the 5 pallets. Now I'm trying to find my way out. It said it's one way, and I had to drive round with my hazards on. So I'm going one way with my hazards on. It's letting me go, see. See where we end up. I already feel like it's a square building, this, and I feel like I've already been round 5 corners. Yeah, when you're not quite sure. I bet I've already been past. Oh no. No, we have. We need to be in the right lane by the looks of it. We don't need the weighbridge. 5 miles an hour. Assuming. They just come over here. Oh, we're on our way to Goole now. Hopefully they'll just let us out. I might need to give this shit back. If he needs me to do this or what? Not very forthwith with info. Hello mate, just need that back, do you?
Yeah, you got your gate pass.
Oh, that's a good question. Is that bit there, is it?
You
Yeah.
can have a look at that, mate.
Oh yeah, no problem. Back in a moment. Always me. So they've taken 5 pallets off the back and then wrote down that I was empty, and then it's just asked to have a quick look in my back doors, and of course there's still 10 pallets or so on that's going to Tesco in Goole, and he's checked the paperwork, and the paperwork said it should be empty, and because I've got pallets on, he's just had to radio check in just to make sure I'm okay to go. So we're given the all clear and we are good to go. It's me being me, of course only these things ever happen to me. Now the poor bloke behind me was just in a unit, running solo, held up whilst they made their mind up. But they were fairly quick, they were fairly good, so no worries there. Still raining. God, I didn't half bucket it down with rain before. Absolutely chucked it down. And we are well on our way, and we shall see you when we get to Tesco's. Ta for now. Fine, switched on. Yes, okay, so we are just coming out of Tesco's in Goole. It's 6 PM. I feel like we've been in there forever. And we are now going to head over to Kellogg's in Manchester. I'm going to be there about 7:45, so by the time we have got rid of the trailer and parked up, it's going to be just after 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow we're up here again. We've got Pontefract and all around that area. That's what we've done. We've done 12 hours now. Hour and 3/4 over there, 2 hours or so, so it'll be just over a 14-hour day by the time we get parked up and settled in for the night. Then we'll have a nice early start in the morning to get ourselves back across here again. So we will love you and leave you with what has been quite a damp and miserable day, basically. But we've got rid of everything. Everything's been delivered. Everybody's happy. I'm going to sit back, relax. I'm going to stick a bit of music on, and we will see you tomorrow or later in the week, however the case may be. Hope you've all had a good day. I hope you're all fit and well, and I hope you've all managed to get home or back to wherever you're staying safe and sound. Good night for now. Okay, bye. Yeah, so we're on the M62. Microphone cable, just chuck that up there somewhere. We're on the M62 heading towards Manchester, and it is miserable, absolutely miserable out there. It's been like this all day. Lots and lots of surface water on the road. I know I said goodbye before, but you know, I quite like talking to myself these days. So the M62 between Goole and where we're going, I think it was 64 miles of just a straight road. 64 miles and 65 miles to Kellogg's. I thought I'd play around with another camera angle. See a little bit more about what's going on. Bit of a driver's eye view. Almost. But anyway, I bet the rain is just driving you all potty. I know what I mean. I suppose I should really concentrate on the road ahead rather than yakking away. This is the sort of weather where people just drive too quick. You end up with a whole load of water in the outside lane. This kind of manoeuvre, where you can't actually see what's coming alongside the outside of me. Could have just waited for me to pass, really. But there we go, and we've still got cars with no lights on. or very little. He had his side lights on, couldn't actually see him. And now we've got this Kia that was going slower than me. We know he was going slower than me because I caught him up. And now he doesn't want to be overtaken by a lorry, even though he's got no lights on. Anyway, it's that kind of weather. It brings out a certain kind of driver, and I shall keep my fingers crossed that nobody does anything silly around me. Anyway, I am going now. I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to stick a bit more music on, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.